And I wondered early on why I was asked to speak tonight. Now I realize I'm only one of the few people in the room has not dated Michael. I raise of hands, anyone else? About a month ago, I got a call from Michael, and he said, he does often to try and get good ideas. And he said, Ian, I want to change up the Paul Harris dinner. I want to make it change it. So I'm thinking to myself, trying to keep up with his swift mind, Paul Harris dinner, how would you change that? Maybe call it the Paul Harris supper. Call it the wine and cheese Paul Harris. But I had no idea that. And so I said, okay, what would you like to do? And he goes, well, nobody knows who Paul Harris is. And I go, you talk to a group of Rotarians, they all know who Paul Harris is. And he goes, no, I'm inviting all my friends. And I figured there wouldn't be anywhere near this many people. And he said, they don't know who Paul Harris is. And I'm thinking, geez, he started Rotary, 1.2 million members, 34,000 clubs, not to mention all the Rotarians that are now doing the four-way test in the sky. I mean, there's been a lot of people that Paul Harris has affected in his life. Fresh water around the world, eradicate polio, all the things that we do. And so I'm trying to think, how could he make this better? Maybe he doesn't want to be Paul Harris. Maybe there's someone else that he wants to name this after. So I'm trying to get ahead of him, and I go, maybe he thinks we should call it Paul, the Mother Teresa dinner. I mean, there's someone that possibly could be more important than Paul Harris. So I go, God, Mother Teresa, maybe that's a good idea. No, maybe not. How about Albert Schweitzer? No, he could call it the Albert Schweitzer dinner. Maybe that would be a better idea than Paul Harris. So I'm trying to get ahead of him. I say, okay, Michael, what would you like to do with this dinner? And he goes, well, I want to call it the Michael Caruso Presidential Inauguration Dinner. Now, in the last 5 seconds, I've gone from Paul Harris to Mother Teresa to Albert Schweitzer to Michael Caruso. And I go, as the Rotary Secretary for this next year, I don't know if I'm going to be up for this all the time. So he said, by the way, I really want you to speak at the dinner, but you've only got 3 minutes. Now, I found out tonight that you're on right after me, and I think I've gone about 2 more minutes. So 2 minutes. So what I want to do is give him my last minute so that he could talk a little bit more about himself.
Thanks all of you for I'm proud now to ask our new president, Michael Angelo Caruso, to share a few words and thank yous.
What a great night. Thank you very much for coming. Did you enjoy dinner, everyone?
Yeah.
When you've learned a little bit about me tonight, and for better or worse, and I have a history, and I think all of us have history. We come to a meeting like this tonight, a dinner like this tonight, or we join an organization, or we do anything in our lives. We bring that history with us, for better or worse. And I want to tell you something about myself that I'm not proud of. In the first 20, 30 years of my life, I was a champion narcissist. And this is not part of Ian Anderson's routine, this is the truth. And when I say narcissist, I mean, if you're not familiar with the conventional definition, I thought only of myself. And as I say, I'm not proud of it. This is something that young people do. They fall into this trap. It's something that many musicians do. In fact, it's almost a prerequisite for the work, that you think a lot of yourself and maybe too much of yourself. And so when I saw the ad in the newspaper to go on a trip to South Africa in 1995, sponsored by an organization that said Rotary. I didn't even know how to pronounce it. R-O-T-A-R-Y, Rotary. I signed up as a narcissist. I signed up as somebody that saw a free trip. And for the, we had to get ready to go on the trip, and I think Jim Ives from 6400 may have been involved with the committee somehow. My memory is faded, but, and Steve was involved, of course, with the Southgate Club on some level. And so what happened was, in the 6 or 8 or 12 weeks that we had to prep for the trip, I learned more about Rotary in that period of time than many Rotarians learn in 3 or 4 years belonging to the organization due to the prep. And I had decided really early on that I was going to join this organization. I was committed to joining before I got back from Rotary. And that's when I first used the term lifetime Rotarian. And I will be in this organization the rest of my life. And the reason I'm going to be in a Rotarian the rest of my life is because it gives me something that I didn't have the first part of my life. It gives me something to live for other than myself. I am still single. I am a bachelor. I am in many ways still a narcissist. And every week at Wednesday, I do something that's bigger than me. Rotary is my church. And every week on Wednesday for 1 hour, about 1 hour, I go to a place with a bunch of like-minded people to help people I don't know. And I give money to a little basket. Well, it's 50-50 raffle, but it's still giving money away. And I listen to a terrific program about something that I might not have had any interest in up until that moment, but for 20 minutes, this person that John has brought into the club, and he books fantastic speakers every week. Yeah. And I might not normally be interested in the topic, but we sit there for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And you know, I've been taking pictures for the club because this guy, Don Rydell, our district governor, coming into the office, has asked me to look after public relations for the district. So I've taken it upon myself to take a lot of pictures. And I take pictures of us a lot during meetings, and take pictures of 30, 40, sometimes 60 or 70, including guests, visitors, listening to a guy or a lady speak for 20, 25 minutes. It's not an exciting photograph. It doesn't photograph well, but it's captivating. The talks are very good. And that's what I like about Rotary. It allows me to understand that the world is bigger than me. I don't have children. And so I can imagine for the fathers that do join our club, or the fathers-to-be that join our club, that this is a chance for them to also do something nice for somebody other than themselves, other than their family. Joining Rotary is not about your pocketbook. I will tell you I have profited from Rotary. And I'm not ashamed of it, because when I speak for free 25 times a year at conferences all over the country, as it turns out, there's usually somebody in the audience that wants to hire me, and I charge for those gigs. But that's how it is when you join an organization. You see, good things will happen for you. When you give things up to other people, good things will happen for you. This is called the law of reciprocity. You can set your clock to it. And that's why it bugs me so much that so many people join Rotary and they don't do anything. They just come to lunch. And if you really want to make the best of your experience, Josh and Greg, Mo and Mike, everybody, Rocky, everybody, is that you want to do something else besides just come to lunch with us. We hope that you come visit us at the Bank of America next to Somerset North on Wednesdays for lunch, and we'd be pleased to show you a good time. I want to thank the roasters and the toasters today. How about a round of applause for them? I just want you to know you don't even have to ask me. I'm going to be at your roast. I also want to tell you about some upcoming events that we have. On July 25, we're going to give away scholarships. It's the money that we raised tonight. I think it's probably going to be closer to $1,700, Mike, tonight, thanks to you. And in addition to some other money that we raised during the year, and we're going to award those scholarships at that luncheon on Wednesday the 25th. These are all Wednesdays. We're going to honor the Educator of the Year, which we do every year on August 22nd. It will be someone from the Troy community school system, not necessarily public schools. Linda Weaver is here tonight. She's a force of nature, and she's arranged an event called Viva La Vino on September 21st. And that will be held at the San Marino Club. And it's looking like it's going to be our signature event. How many of you like wine? We'll expect to see you there. It'll be a fantastic evening. And then in October, going to honor the Troy Rotary Businesswoman of the Year Award. It's the second year we'll be doing this, and we're very proud of it, and more and more women are joining our club all the time. Tom?
Third.
Oh, third year, thank you. We hope that you could come to some of these events. Mike has been taking pictures tonight, working very hard. He is not working for fee tonight. He's here because he likes us. So a round of applause for Mike. And I hear that the photos will be on the Troy Rotary Facebook page, so thank you. We're having a little afterglow tonight at Kona Grill. They have a reverse happy hour that some of you may be interested in, although I can't eat another bite. But you're welcome to come over there and have some laughs with us after the evening's over here. You know, when I speak, one of my favorite parts of the program is I always offer people a chance for Q&A because, for a couple of reasons. One is people are insatiably curious and they like to ask questions, and I think it's nice to do that. It's good etiquette. But also, it's sometimes the most interesting part of the program because it's the only part of the program that hasn't been prepared on some level. So I do want to answer, and if I can't answer it, we'll get somebody from Rotary to answer it. But any questions you have at all about anything that's happened tonight, about Rotary, about my sordid past, about anything, I'd love to answer the questions for you right now. Mr. Rydell.
If you bring in 6 members a week, how big will our club be next year?
The question was, if we bring in 6 members a week, which we have already, how big will our club be at the end of the year? An interesting thing, I had to do training to become president, of course, so did Mark, so does everybody that becomes president. And part of the training this year, we learned, of course, that Don wanted to have every Rotarian bring in a new member. So our 44-member club theoretically would go to 88 this year if everybody does what they're supposed to do. You have to understand that our growth this year we're the fastest growing club in the district. We were plus 10 for the whole year. And so what's interesting is that we were off to a good start. And Michael set the tone for this with the plus 10, so now we're on a little bit of a roll, like a snowball rolling down the hill. We have 6 members maybe joining here in the first part of July, which would be very great, very good. But I have a confession to make because in the training and the different places we went, they made us fill out forms pledging as presidents how many people we were going to bring in. And of course, on all the forms, I dutifully answered as you wanted me to, Don. I said, we're going to double our size. We're going to have every member bring in somebody. And I filled it out on forms and I talked about it in speeches all over the country, but I never told my own club. And you know why I never told you? Because I didn't want you to tell me it couldn't be done. And it's not because anybody in the room is negative. You're great people. But when you try to make big changes in your life, in your family, in your income, in what you do for work, in your attitude, if you're trying to lose a lot of weight, there will be people that tell you it cannot be done, and you must not share your goals with those people. You have to keep it a secret from them, and you have to let them discover that you're doing it, and then they'll take credit for it. Get another question in the back.
You went to Egypt and Lebanon about 10 years ago, and
Yes,
you had a very nice reception from the ladies over there.
Oh, for God's sake. What Kamal is trying to tell you is I am multicultural. I am an equal opportunity dater.
So you could share with the people there anything you want about that, especially the one at the Nile River that you were with one of the lovely ladies there.
This is Kamal Shahaib, everybody, and his lovely wife, Yasmin. Kamal is also past president. He's one of the big givers in our club, and as you can tell, he's got heritage other than American. And he took us, we adopted a club in Lebanon called the LA Club, and it became our sister club, and we did some nice things for them. We bought a school bus for the blind, and we did some nice things over there, and then as kind of a way to get away and also check up on how the money was spent, we took a trip. A bunch of us from the club went over, and it was in, I think, 1995 or so. Yeah, I'm not sure. And Kamal has a home there, and so he put us in the home, and it was a fantastic. I've done so many things through Rotary that have been life-changing experiences, and I'm not using that phrase lightly. I don't use that phrase lightly. Life-changing experiences. The South Africa trip, the Lebanon trip was fantastic. I'm really sure that being president is going to be life-changing for me. I can't wait. A lot of presidents say, oh, any other year but this year. Oh, I'd rather not. And I'm like, sign me up. It's time. Let's do it. So thank you very much for the opportunity. Other questions? Yes, sir. This is Guy Cicerone from our club as well.
Yes, Mike. In my dreams, I met your father, Michelangelo.
Yeah.
And this is about 2,000
He's Italian.
years ago.
Yeah.
And he was laying on his back, and he was painting in the ceiling, you know. And he was painting this picture of this one hand pointing to another hand, one finger to another finger. And in case, I remember I explained it to you what that meant. Do you remember?
As my ex-girlfriend Kim would say, I have a terrible memory. I don't remember, no. I remember the photograph.
Mike, I'm going to tell you one more time.
Yeah.
That is the hand of God passing life to the hand of Adam.
And what's the name of the painting?
I don't know.
You're not alone, Michael.
Love this, man. This is great. Jim Ives from 6400. Rotary is divided into districts. You're lucky in this area we have 2 super districts, which means they're both contain clubs in Canada. So I began my Rotary career by pledging into the Southgate Club, which is in Jim's district in 6400. This is District 6380. Jim.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that what you were going to say?
Oh, no. I have a statement and then I have a question. Okay, the statement is, I'm surprised Ian didn't come up with this a little earlier, but with everybody pledging to bring in one person, it's more than 88, because you're bringing people in all year long. And every one of those have to bring people in.
Oh, yeah.
So you're going to be huge.
Hey,
As a banker, I thought you would have. It's that compound interest.
Clearly, we have the wrong person as secretary.
We used to work together years ago. Anyway, question. What is your, if you had one thing that you want to accomplish this year in this club, what is it?
I've made a short list. Every president gives a greeting to the club. Mine will be a couple weeks into the year. You're welcome to come to it if you like. But the short list contains a bunch of little wish list things. I don't know that I have any. Certainly, doubling the size of the club would be something. Wow.
We need a room like this.
What's that?
We need this room.
We would need this room. That's exactly right. We need to move. That's why a lot of people don't want to grow. You see, it causes challenges. We'd have to change stuff.
let's do it.
I have little things like I want to make it easier for people to commit and contribute to our club. So I want credit card processing at the front desk, registration desk. I want people to be able to donate money to polio right away, pay dues, pay their lunch, whatever. And you can do it now just on a cell phone with a little square or one of those contraptions that reads their cards. So it's really easy to do. Rotary is an old organization. There's no secrets about this. I think 107 years old, Dave.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm asking you, like you were around.
Yeah. Almost.
Were you?
Roger's older than me.
Oh, Roger. And so what happens is with old organizations, and we know this from old universities. If you look at the top 10 oldest organizations in the country, most of them are universities, and Rotary, which happens to be international. But the idea would be that, when you're dealing with old institutions, they move slow, they turn around slow. And it's no secret that Rotary is challenged by that. And that's why we're so hungry for younger members like Josh and Mo and well, Rocky's not so young, but... and women. We just have a handful of women in the club, 6, maybe 7. And I'd love to have more women in the club.
Surprise.
Go figure. You wouldn't say no.
And speaking of women, we're using, we're telling John, and he's been very good about it. If you want to get, you have to use the right. Here's another tip. Who wanted the dating tip? Josh. You can't use it, but I'll give it to you. You have to bait the hook, right? With the bait that's going to attract the right fish. So we thought, well, what's going to bring more women to the club? Well, how about female speakers who speak on female topics? And so we went right to work on that. We actually created the women's business, it's branded Troy Rotary Businesswoman of the Year Awards, to actually create this mega launch for women to come to the club and see what we were about. And it worked like a charm. We signed up 4 ladies right after we did the first event. So things like that, I think, Jim, are what we're after. I hope that inspires you a little bit. We don't have an internet connection, and we're in a Bank of America, and we don't have an internet connection. an easy one. And I'd love to fix that for the club because, well, I'd like to do Skyping and that sort of thing with the meeting. So technology's coming. Other questions or issues? We're right on schedule. We're going to say goodbye here in just a minute. Linda, you want to talk about this Viva La Vida? A round of applause for Linda Weaver, everybody.
I'm not a force of nature. I don't think I'm a tornado, and I don't think I'm a hurricane. Okay? But I do want to entice everybody to come to a fun event because Rotary may be older, but we have fun ideas, and I like to throw good parties.
Sure.
So, 25 wines on a Friday night, live music, a silent auction, good food. It's not a bad deal. Okay? September 21st, have a good time with us. You can sign up online. It's easy.
And the
Have fun.
cards are on the table, right?
Cards on the table, cards are out front.
Excellent. And there's also, we're promoting ourselves tonight, of course. There's a chance for you to take 30% off of your natural gas bill with that little brochure that's on the desk. Guy, would you please raise your hand? Guy can answer any question you have about that right after the program. We had some more questions. Yes, please.
In your search for answers, Michael, from women, does Joan Jett really love rock and roll?
The question is about Joan Jett, and I'll just tell you what happened, and Dave can swear to this. Out of all the people we ever worked for, to open with, Joan Jett was positively the least receptive. She would not have her photograph taken with us. She wouldn't come out of her dressing room to say hello. And, it could be she was just having a bad day, or maybe that was her habit. I don't know, but I have no affection for her whatsoever. Her show was great. I love her music. Ian.
Michael, you recently had pictures that you showed us from your trip to Bangkok, and one of them was you shirtless with a lady that you just got a massage from, and it's haunted me ever since. My question is, do you remember her name?
I remember her name as well as Guy remembers the name of the painting. Quick story now that he's teased you, and these are on Facebook as well. We went to Bangkok, and I was relatively well behaved, you'll be glad to know. I did get a Thai massage on the beach. And quick story, and I don't have the photograph here tonight, but I can show it to you sometime, is the lady was like middle-aged, fairly stocky lady. She was really good at what she did. Massage. And she's working me over, and all my buddies are watching, because we're right in the middle of the beach. It's, unobstructed seating. And so at the end of the thing, I want to get my photo taken with it because I take a lot of photographs. I like to document my life. I like to share my experiences with people. A lot of people never get to go to Thailand, so take a picture. So what's funny is we're sitting there, and I'm like thrashed because of the nature of the thing, the rub down, the massage. And so we're taking the photo, and she's sitting next to me. We're kind of cross-legged, just waiting for the photo, and I can tell she's been through this a million times, and it's kind of. She's like, hurry up and get it over with. And right before the guy takes the picture, out of nowhere, and I don't know how this happened, but it's in the photograph, she moves her hand over to inside my leg. Haunting is right. You're haunted. Funny stuff. Other questions, comments, anything? Oh, yeah, sorry, Josh, yes.
That's okay. When does Neil Patrick Harris show up to receive his award? Greg and I were hoping to get his autograph.
Did they tell you Neil Patrick Harris was going to be here tonight? Yeah, the old bait and switch. So we hope to see you next Wednesday at the Bank of America, Troy Rotary on Facebook. Thank you so much for coming. Michael O'Shaughnessy is going to see you off here with the four-way test and a couple of the other things that we do. I so appreciate you. I've seen, and we'll do some more raffle tickets for sure. I've seen people here tonight from all stages of my life. It's been very gratifying. But you know what? As nice as it's been to get all this attention tonight, I'm so glad that we're here under this banner right here, Troy Rotary. And thank you very much for giving us your attention tonight, and your money, and your smiles. And we really appreciate you. Thank you very much.
We got to draw, I guess, yeah.
He's drawing a ticket over there.
Oh, what is it? All right, I'd like, before you draw the ticket, is there anybody that didn't get a ticket yet?
Anybody want to take it?